Testing. Okay, we are live. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we have got huge amounts of rain. Absolutely huge. Charles Leclerc, we've got a yellow flag. What's happened here to Charles Leclerc? I don't know what's happened to Leclerc. Has he got a puncture? Leclerc's got a puncture. On the outlap to the grid. His front right tyre has broken. Oh no, his rear right tyre is broken. And his tyre's falling apart. Charles Leclerc's tyres fall apart as he's making his way to the grid. I don't know what's gone on there with Ferrari, but his wheel is literally broken. Oh my god, thank you everyone for tuning in, and what a chaotic way to start off the session. So Leclerc is making his way towards the grid, the race hasn't started, he's just driving towards the pit lane, and his wheel has come off, his tyres come off on the right hand side for the front right and the front and the rear right, and the car is destroying itself. Like, the mechanics are looking slightly confused in the garage, they're just looking back, thinking back, did we tighten all the bolts on Charles's car? But he's pulled over to the side of the road, the marshals are going to get his car, and he's going to have to get towed to the starting grid. Not a good start there for Charles Leclerc. We've got a replay here. He's just going down the main straight. He hasn't touched any barriers, nothing like that. He's up into about 7th gear, 8th gear, and then into the barriers he goes. It looks like he's lost steering. Did Leclerc crash, or did he lose steering while he was... I don't know how he can exactly lose steering. Just looking at the replay here. So he's steering the wheel. Oh, he aquaplaned. That's what it was. He didn't crash he aquaplaned into the barrier. Okay. So it wasn't Ferrari's fault. Charles Leclerc aquaplaned into the barrier on the lap to the grid. That is ridiculous. It wasn't a puncture. Well, obviously the tyres got a puncture, but that was purely because Charles Leclerc was going down the main straight up in 7th gear, and the tyres lost contact with the road. Into the barriers he went. It is heavy rain here in Miami. The forecast was scattered thunderstorms. The thunderstorms have arrived, and everyone is out on wet tyres. Leclerc has just aquaplaned off into the barrier and is now stopped on the side of the track. But I can tell you for a certain fact today, the race is going to be absolutely mega. And looking at how much water there is on the circuit, it's going to be wet for qualifying as well. Today is going to be absolutely sensational. So thank you everyone for tuning in, and we are going to have an absolutely mega stream today. Okay, thank you everyone for hitting the like button. We've got 311 people hit the like button already, and Antonelli, everyone now crawling there around the grid, not doing what Charles Leclerc did, and not trying to, aquaplane themselves into a barrier. Yeah, Miami weather is insane. They literally said no rain. Yeah, I know, it was so strange. I checked the weather yesterday. Even if I looked at Google just before I went live, and Google said, 10% chance of rain. I was like, what? And then I look at the TV broadcast, and it's absolutely soaked. The entire circuit is soaked. And, I don't know what's going on here. We've got a replay from Behrman. Behrman misses his braking point, goes straight on at turn number 17. And, huge lock up there for Behrman. Very similar to Sainz, but Sainz, of course, was doing it during quali. Behrman does a nice 360 and gets his car, nice 180 and gets his car back in the right direction and makes his way to the grid. But, this has been a very interesting first couple of laps here. All right. So, let me just put on the race information. There we go. Fantastic. So, we're going to have 19 laps of racing around here. 19 laps, it's not going to be medium tyres, it's not going to be hard tyres, it's going to be wets. And we're not going to have any pit stops. It will most likely be the wet tyres for the entire race. We may see them move down to inters depending on how much water sort of leaves the track surface, but it is absolutely soaked, ladies and gents. And this is going to be fantastic. F1 Gamer this year, it's raining nearly almost every Grand Prix. I know, it's fantastic. It's fantastic, really. Tsunoda is going to be starting the race from the pit lane. The pit lane exit has closed, and Tsunoda's still in the pits. So Tsunoda will be starting the race from the pits. He was going to start in 18th place anyway, but he's down now into 20th. And he's going to have a wet setup by the looks of things because, it's raining. And, Antonelli, Piastri, Norris, all of those drivers had the pace. However, that was pace, at a very low downforce Miami. And now when the rain has arrived, you want to bolt on a little bit more rear wing, you want to bolt on a little bit more front wing, and you're not allowed to do that. Well, you can bolt on a little bit more front wing, but you can't bolt add on some extra rear wing, which means that you're going to have an unbalanced car. So they're going to have to stick with the downforce levels they have currently got. And yeah, things are not going well for Charles Leclerc, and I don't know if he'll actually be able to start the race, really. We'll just have to wait and see. But also, ladies and gents, I've changed the radios here. Now we've got 2 columns worth of radio, so just more radio messages up on your screen, because I noticed a lot of these radio messages are fairly short, like you can see here, negative on your Delta, I'm happy to read A4. So I thought that if we had 2 columns, you can fit more radio messages into the chat. Why has Leclerc stopped? F1 Gamer, did you do a rain lap in the game? No, I did not do a rain lap because I was not expecting it to be wet. So yeah, that's a bit unfortunate, really. I didn't time this one. Didn't do that properly. But yeah, Charles Leclerc has hit a wall on his lap to the grid. So that's even before the formation lap. He's just coming out the garage, making his way towards the start-finish line, and he has crashed into the grid, crashed into the wall. And they'll be able to pick that car up and probably take it towards the grid, and then Ferrari mechanics will have one hell of a job to do. They've got 20 minutes to replace the suspension and replace those wheels and get everything ready for the start of the race. It's going to be a tough job, but it has been done before. Max Verstappen crashed, I think it was 2021 or maybe 2019, I can't remember which one it was, but oh no, it wasn't 2019, it was 2021 or 2020. He crashed on the lap to the grid. It was actually 2021, yeah. He crashed on the lap to the grid, and then the Red Bull mechanics managed to fix his car within the space of 15 minutes before the lights went out. So it's happened before, and it can be rectified. The question is, will the car make it to the grid in time? Will the Ferrari mechanics have enough time to get it done? Oh, is it 2020? Okay. Fair enough. All right. Yeah, so 19 laps of racing around here. The lap times, well, considering it's so wet, we're going to go from the 126s, 127s yesterday, all the way up to the 140s, probably even higher, 145s by the looks of it. All right. What is up with Sonoda? Sonoda starting from the pits. So, yeah. Track temperatures, you can see down in 28 degree temperature range, a huge difference compared to yesterday. And DRS will be disabled. You know, I've got the 3 DRS zones showing up on the screen, but no DRS will be used when it is so wet here today. It is raining. Honestly, I need to put a message up on the chat, basically just saying it's raining. Let's see. Heavy rain. All right, let me just stick that up on the screen somewhere. All right, yeah, we have got heavy rain on. It must be the water, indeed. That's what it is. Leclerc aquaplaned into a wall. What's good? How are you doing? I'm doing fantastically. I've done my studying for the day, and now I'm going to be watching this race with all eyes peeled. You know, there's going to be action all the way up and down the grid. Antonelli's going to be starting from pole position, and he's going to be starting in wet as well. We may even have a safety car start, you know. Given how much water there is on the circuit, I wouldn't be surprised if the FIA say we're going to start behind the safety car, just to make things a little bit more safe, just to also clear up a little bit more of the water, because Formula One cars, they are fantastic vacuum cleaners, and they kick all of the water out onto the side of the track and clean up the racing line a little bit, making it a lot less dangerous to go full speed and hopefully not aquaplane off into the barriers. So I think it would be wise to maybe do a 1 or 2 laps behind the safety car and then go do a safety car start. Of course, it'll be a little boring. However, you know, I'd much rather we have a safety car start and then actually, you know, not have a red flag, whereas we could have a standing start and the drivers, you know, we have 4 drivers crash into each other, and then we have a red flag for the next 2 hours. So we shall see what the FIA decide to do. All right, Leclerc's car has been picked up now. It has been picked up on a lorry. It is now being driven to to the starting grid. Currently, the car is at turn number 16, so it's going to go down that huge straight, and it'll take a while for that lorry to accelerate up to top speed all the way down the straight, hit the brakes for 17, and then stop just before the grid. And then the Ferrari mechanics will have some time to gain. So it's going to be very, very tight. They're only going to have 15 minutes or so to repair that car, and we'll see what Leclerc can do. But Leclerc will have his head in his hands, and he'll just be saying, "I am stupid," because he has crashed the car before the race has even begun, before the formation lap as well. I mean, Lance Stroll and Isaac Hadjar, they crashed on the formation lap. Charles Leclerc crashed on the lap to the grid. What is going on? Okay. There's no way he's starting to spin. The right side is destroyed. I mean, they could fix it. They could. It's unlikely, I think. However, there is a small chance that the Ferrari mechanics could pull off a miracle and get that car ready for the start of the race. All right, we've got 18 minutes now till we get underway, and as you can see, they're slowly just turning all of these sectors from orange to green, and we should be good to go shortly. Okay, Tsunoda starting from the pits. Indeed he is. Tsunoda will be starting from the pit lane. I think he's going to opt for a wet setup. Given the sprint qualifying regulations, you have to have the same setup for sprint quali in the sprint race, unless you start from the pit lane, and then you can change your setup for normal qualifying session and then for the race on Sunday as well. So you can have a different setup for quali in the race, and you can have a different setup for the sprint race and sprint quali. So what's going to happen here? I think Tsunoda is going to start from the pit lane, and he's going to, put on a wet setup and hopefully try and make his way through the grid. It's going to be a very tough race for everyone, really. But I suspect Hamilton, Alonso, Verstappen, they're going to be pulling out some mega performances. I mean, the last time we had, a very, very wet race, we saw who went on to win the race. Lando Norris went on to win the race in Australia. And then before that, of course, we had Brazil, where we saw Max Verstappen absolutely dominate. So who knows what's going to happen today. But all I can tell you is that we're going to have guaranteed action from lap number 1 all the way through to lap number 19. The rain has briefly stopped. Indeed, it has. The rain may have stopped, but the circuit is still absolutely soaked. And we're most likely going to see some drivers at least start on the wets, and then we may see the drivers switch over to intermediate tyres if it becomes quicker. However, in a 19-lap race, it's going to have to get quicker very, very quickly if they're going to switch on to the intermediate tyres. Or maybe they'll take the gamble, start the race on the intermediate tyres, and then, your first 5-6 laps, you're going to be very, very slow. And as the track sort of clears up and more water gets pushed to the side of the circuit, and you get a bit more of a drier racing line forming, then the intermediate tyres could really come into their own, and you could overtake anyone on the wets. So we'll have to just wait and see. Okay. Also, folks, if you are interested in getting Surfshark VPN, be sure to do so. You can watch Formula One for $2 a month by getting Surfshark VPN, downloading it onto your computer, your phone, and then joining an Austrian VPN server and searching Service TV. That's how you can watch Formula 1 for $2 a month. All right, the Ferrari mechanics, I think, have got a hold of Charles Leclerc's car, and now they're doing some inspections of the car, seeing which spare parts they need, what they need to replace, and... is this Leclerc's car or is this Hamilton's car? I can't tell. Oh no, it's 44 on the side. It's Hamilton's car. So they still haven't got Leclerc's cars by the looks of it, because if they had, then there'll be no mechanics stood around Hamilton's car, and they'll all be trying to fix Leclerc's. Okay, here we go then, ladies and gentlemen. 15 minutes. Let me know, who do you think is going to be starting? Who do you think is going to be winning this race? It's all thrown up into the air now. Leclerc might not even start this race. We've got a message from Race Control. FIA stewards, incident involving car 16 Charles Leclerc will be investigated after the sprint dash unsafe condition. I don't know exactly what that means. Leclerc did go out and the conditions were unsafe, but that's the FIA's fault. It's not Leclerc's fault per se. So don't know what's going there. F1 Gamer, will you stay streaming until quali? Probably not, unless we get a red flag and it the whole everything gets delayed till qualifying, then I'll probably end the stream, and then there'll be a separate qualifying stream. But if the sprint race just gets delayed due to rain or due to red flags or whatever, and the qualifying starting in like half an hour, then I might as well just stay live. Okay. They're saying Leclerc was driving too fast in rainy conditions. Yeah, but what, are you going to give him a penalty for that? Like, that doesn't really make much sense. The risk of rain is currently 70%. So, of course, there's loads of water already on the circuit, but risk of more rain falling during the sprint race is a 70% chance of happening. So, let's wait and see. Because the thing is, if there is a 70% chance of rain, then what that would indicate is that you probably don't want to be out on the intermediate tyres, because it's still going to continue getting wetter and wetter. So even though the circuit might dry up for the first couple of laps, if it starts raining again, then your pace advantage that you have on the inters is going to disappear. It's going to evaporate very, very quickly. So we'll just have to see, All right. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Very much do appreciate all of the support. If you aren't subscribed, be sure to do so. If you haven't hit the like button, be sure to do that as well. It really does help out the channel. Hopefully we can hit 152k subs by the end of this stream. We've got 19 laps of racing here, and we are 191, 188 subscribers away from hitting the target. All right. Yeah. Fantastic. Also, I'd like to point this out here. Oscar Piastri, in the previous 7 qualifying sessions that we've had, we've had 5 normal qualifying sessions, 2 sprint qualifying sessions. In every single one of those, Oscar Piastri has either been on pole position or been within 1/10 of a second of pole position. So Oscar Piastri, just unseen levels of consistency from this guy, and he hasn't DNF'd a race 33 races running, so 33 Grand Prix in a row he has finished, and he's also got the lowest percentage of DNFs for any driver that's completed a full season in Formula One. So Oscar Piastri, absolutely, just incredible consistency from him, and that is what you need to win a world championship. So let's see what he can do in the wet conditions today. Antonelli will be a lot less experienced in the wet conditions. Of course, he has had a bit of time driving around in Melbourne, which was a very difficult circuit as well. With all the painted white lines at Melbourne, Antonelli got very close to crashing, but managed to keep it on the road for that race. And I think, that experience is really going to help him out today, and he'll have a bit of a reference, a bit of a baseline to evaluate his decisions on which lines to take, where to drive, which curbs to avoid, things like that. But as of right now, the Mercedes cars have got wet tires bolted onto them. We haven't seen if they put on a different set of tire warmers, but Verstappen's car is also showing full wet tires. They haven't put any other tires on as of right now. So by the looks of it, they may start the race on the full wet, so they may put on a set of mediums just before we get underway. All right. What happened to Charles? Charles crashed on the way to the grid, and by the looks of it, I don't think his car will be getting fixed. So, the last that we saw of it 8 minutes ago was he was on the car was on the back of a crane being driven towards the starting grid, and then about 5 minutes ago, we saw that his grid slot was still empty. So his grid slot still empty, his car's still not there. It looks like he might not be starting this race. I'll double check and get some more information on whether he will be starting. But things aren't looking all too hopeful for Ferrari's golden boy, Charles Leclerc. Yeah, this is Leclerc. I mean, pretty strange, really. I mean, Leclerc was the first driver out, so I don't know why though, he was going such a high speed down the main straight on an out lap. Like, I know that you do have to test all of your gears, make sure everything's working, so you've got to shift all the way up into 8th gear, and of course if he shifts too early, then there's a chance that it'll just stall the car. But I'm surely there must have been a better way to test all of his gears. Okay. Yeah, track is clear now, and Leclerc's car, will Nothing has been, no information has been released as of yet, but we'll wait and see if Leclerc will be starting this race. We'll find out in 9 minutes' time for sure, once we get underway for the formation lap. Okay. Behrman also had a spin on the formation lap going towards turn 11. He outplaned, yeah, but Behrman did as well. But of course, he kept it out of the barriers and managed to unlock his tyres before doing a 180 and getting himself back onto the circuit. So a better job from Behrman. F1 Gamer, do you have a specific team you support, or are you just unbiased? I'm pretty unbiased. Of course, there'll be biases inherent just because I'm human, but apart from that, I try to stay unbiased. I'm not particularly supporting anyone. I'd love to see Antonelli win, love to see Piastri win, love to see Norris or Verstappen or even Leclerc and Hamilton, anyone. Yeah, it would be incredible. And honestly, I'm just here for the action. It's going to be incredible, the amount of overtakes and racing that we're going to have. Hopefully, we can see Albon as well get up into the mix. Because this is the thing, Williams are fantastic around this circuit. They have so much pace, but the top four are just a little bit too far out of reach for them. Now, though, the rain has arrived. The great equalizer is here, and we are going to have a brilliant battle amongst all of the drivers. Fernando Alonso could go stick that car up onto the podium. We just don't know. Yuki changed his setup, so he's starting from the pits. Indeed, he is. There is still rain, so the rain has stopped falling. However, the circuit is still totally soaked, and there's a 70% chance that it will start raining in the next half an hour. So, yeah, technically the rain has stopped, but it's still absolutely soaked the circuit. All right. Alright, we've got 7 minutes left of the session. Thank you everyone for tuning in. If you are enjoying the coverage, be sure to hit the like button. Very much is appreciated. And we'll be getting underway for the sprint race very, very soon. If we could hit 1,000 likes before the sprint race starts, that'd be fantastic. In fact, I think the like target for sprint races are normally 3,000 likes. I forgot to change that with all the action of Charles Leclerc crashing the car before the race started. So there we go. Alright. 3,000 likes is the target. Here we go. Hi, F1 Gamer, which team is your least favourite? I don't really have a least favourite team. I think, I don't know, a bit of a stupid question. I don't really hate any team, to be honest. Okay. So, I shall take you through a lap of the circuit. Admittedly, this lap is going to be a dry lap. It's not going to be a wet lap. However, it's still going to be fairly relevant, and I'll point out the key points where you want to stay away from the curbs and things like that. So, here we go then. Where is the onboard? Right, so you make your way down the main straight. At this point, these corners are not going to be flat here. Especially this next corner here, you have to be so smooth on the throttle. You might be able to make it flat, but you have to be extremely smooth. You do not want to be driving over the curbs here. The curbs are going to just unsettle the car. They're going to be absolutely very, very slippery. So stay away from the curbs. Also, this racing line, you do have to take it. There's only one racing line through here. On the next couple of corners, though, around here, you can take a bit more of an outside line, and that will give you a little bit more grip because the circuit will not be rubbered in there. Through this corner, once again, just stay away from the curbs. There isn't too much elevation change at Miami, which means that the water that is there is not going to run off to the left-hand side of the track or the right-hand side of the track. For example, at Suzuka, where there's loads of elevation change and the track sometimes tilts to the left, tilts to the right, all of the water will tilt over to the left-hand side and will just run away off the track. But Miami, fairly flat, so you have to watch out on all of the curbs, all of the painted white lines. You don't want to be touching any of them. Then going over this chicane, the chicane is going to be even more tricky. You still have to drive over the curbs to keep up the lap time, but you just have to hope that you don't aquaplane. Then as you go towards turn number 16 there's going to be a little puddle that forms right against the wall, which you want to stay away from, because if you touch that, then you go immediately into the wall, and banging the wall in wet conditions is not what you want to be doing. We saw Behrman lock up here going into turn number 17. You're going to have to start braking at probably 150 meter mark, 170 meter mark really, really early, and also, your brakes are going to be quite low temperature. That's another thing, because all of these cars were set up in mind. Oh, the race is going to be starting behind the formation lap here. The formation lap will be started behind the safety car. So it looks like we're going to have a safety car driving us around. It still hasn't been, the formation lap will be started behind the safety car, but we're still going to have a standing start. And yeah, so what was I talking about? oh yeah, you just want to stay away from all of the painted white lines, and your brakes, they've all been set up for 50 degrees track temperature and like 30 degrees air temperature, which means that your brake ducts are going to be on their maximum setting. They're going to be on like as large as possible to make sure everything stays cool. But now with temperatures so much lower, your brakes are going to cool down hugely going down the straights, which means that the drivers are going to have to like sort of bed their brakes in, brake at maybe the 200-meter mark, warm them up a little bit, then really step on the brakes before they can actually, start achieving the proper deceleration levels that they need to slow down for corners. Here in Miami, you've got the second longest straight on the Formula One calendar. So, yeah, especially from turn number 8 all the way to turn number 11, you're going to be flat and your brakes are really going to cool down. So we'll see if some drivers lock up there, if they go straight on, but it's going to be very, very interesting. Okay, F1 Gamer, what are your predictions? My predictions, I am going to predict 3 DNFs, minimum 2 rookies DNF, and I'm also going to predict that Fernando Alonso gets up into the top 5. That is my predictions for this sprint race. Let me know what your predictions are. Is Charles Leclerc out? By the looks of it, Charles Leclerc is out of this race. It does not look like he will be starting. He crashed on the way to the grid. The formation lap will be behind the safety car, so the safety car will be driving everyone around at a slow speed rather than, Antonelli dictating the pace behind the safety car from the front of the formation lap. It'll be the safety car that'll be dictating the pace, and the drivers will have to, stick to that pace. Okay. All right, Lance Stroll is saying, can we consider pitting with full wet? So I don't know what's going on here, but the drivers are deciding whether they're going to be on the full wet tyres, whether they're going to be on the intermediates. We're going to have the tyre information coming up on the screen very, very shortly. 3 minutes now till we get underway for the race. Okay. First time watching the sprint race live. Is it any exciting? Oh, it is going to be very, very exciting. Oh, we've got the tyre information. Okay, everyone starting the race here on the intermediate tyres, apart from Carlos Sainz, who's going to be on the wets. Leclerc is not starting this race here, ladies and gentlemen, because he has crashed on the way to the grid. So everyone else is on intermediate tyres. We've got Carlos Sainz on wets. And they're saying over the radio, the rain is looking quite light here, and it should stop in about a minute or so. And yeah, so the teams are going for, the choice for the long term. They're hoping that not too much rain is going to fall in the next half an hour, and that means that the track will be wet enough for intermediate tyres, but not too wet for the full wets. Whereas Carlos Sainz has taken the gamble. We'll wait and see. He's starting in 15th place. To score any points in this sprint race, he's going to have to get all the way up into 8th place. So he might as well take a gamble to see what he can do. All right. Yeah, so here we are then. Let me run through the starting grid. We are 1 minute and 20 seconds away from the start of the race. Has a safety car ever crashed or locked up? We have had previously the safety car crash, a long time ago, but I think Bernd Mailander, experienced safety car driver, I think he should be fine in all of these conditions. What's with Tsunoda? Tsunoda's going to be starting from the pit lane. He was in 18th place yesterday in quali after the team sent him out at the wrong time. He didn't get to set his final lap in Q1, and because of that he got eliminated. So he's starting from 20th place instead of 18th, and he's going to have a full wet setup on. All of these other drivers, they're going to have a dry setup because, they didn't predict the fact that it will be raining today. Nobody predicted it. Google was saying a 10% chance of rain, and here we come with the track entirely soaked. So yeah, Tsunoda will have a wet setup, and that will help him out a little bit, but who knows if he'll be able to make progress all the way to the top of the grid. Okay, sprint race is starting in 15 seconds. As you can see, they're going to do a formation lap behind the safety car, then we will get underway for the full 19 laps of racing. Let me get rid of this timer here, ladies and gents, and we'll be getting underway very, very shortly. Okay. Thank you everyone for tuning in, by the way, very much is appreciated. Let me just block all of these adverts. Apologies if you guys have got any adverts so far, but I'm going to be blocking all of these adverts. I don't know what's going on here, why Bortoletto is saying I've got oversteer and understeer at turn 80 and 90, but yeah, that should move off the screen very quickly. And also, folks, just let me know if you prefer this team radio style where we have 2 columns of team radio rather than just one big sort of thing, because I think this works better. You can see more team radio messages at once. All right. So here we go then. We are underway for the formation lap here, ladies and gentlemen. We have got Antonelli leading the way behind the safety car. Then we have got Oscar Piastri, and we have got Lando Norris and Verstappen. Russell leaving a big gap there to Verstappen, trying to get, all of these drivers now, what they'll be doing is experimenting. Now they're driving around at slow speeds. They can drive over the white lines without any repercussions, and they can get a feel, oh, does the car feel like it's going to slide a little bit more here? They can go over the curbs. They can say, oh, is this curb going to give me some more grip? Is it going to help me rotate the car? Or is it a stay away from this curb at all costs kind of curb? Okay, just to repeat here, anyone that's just tuned in, we've got 12,000 people tuned into the live stream. Charles Leclerc crashed on the lap to the grid, and that means he will not be taking part in this race today. Ferrari mechanics did not have enough time to repair his car, and Leclerc has DNF'd this race. Well, he hasn't DNF'd, he did not start, DNS the race, and he crashed on the way to the grid, going through turn number 9 and 10. He aquaplaned. It wasn't his fault, the car just aquaplaned. Maybe it was his fault for driving that quickly, but nonetheless, the car aquaplaned, he went into the barrier, and that was his race over before it even begun. All right, and I cannot wait for this race to begin. This is going to be absolutely mega. He's already in the interview pen, and he's looking a little bit distraught. But what can you say? He's not going to be happy with that, and he's just going to be looking to make qualifying as good as possible. He'll be fine for qualifying. The car damage is not all that severe. It's just that, they had 15 minutes to repair the car, and Formula One cars are super complicated. Repairing in 15 minutes is a very tall order. And since they did even get the car delivered to them, they were never really going to get it repaired in time. So Leclerc will be fine for the sprint, but for qualifying, but he will not be taking part in the sprint. Piastri has come over the radio saying visibility is very poor. Even in P2, there will be visibility is very poor. And there's going to be at least one more lap behind the safety car here, ladies and gentlemen. We are not starting the race just yet. The FIA have just sent out a message. And as you can see, all of these messages here coming over the team radio, we are going to have a couple more laps behind the safety car just to clear all of this water up. Because, if the drivers start racing now, there's a very high chance of aquaplaning. So a couple more laps behind the safety car to clear the circuit up of water, and then we will be going racing. Max pitted. Did Max pit? It looks like he did go into the pit lane. Oh no, Max didn't pit. Max locked up at turn 17 and had to spin the car around. He didn't go into the pit lane. He's going to make his way and re-overtake the other drivers, but he locked up at turn number 17, and then and then lost a bunch of places. He's going to re-overtake Hamilton and everyone and get himself back up into fourth. But Verstappen as well making mistakes here. Everyone's making mistakes. It's absolute chaos here in Miami. And, I'm all here for it. This is going to be absolutely mega. Everyone Gamer, what's that thing above the team radio? I'd appreciate if you didn't spam the chat, but it is the fastest sectors. So once the race actually begins, you'll be able to see who's setting the fastest sectors. Is Verstappen quickest in the first sector? Is Antonelli quickest in the final sector? That's what it is. And Piastri's coming over the radio here. Yeah, this visibility is genuinely the worst I've ever had in a race car, and I'm half a second behind Antonelli. So, and Piastri's in second place here, ladies and gents. If you look at Yuki Tsunoda, Tsunoda's in the pits. Come out of the pits now. But there's going to be 20 cars worth of spray blocking his visibility. And the race has been red flagged. The procedure has been suspended. And, here we go. Not a surprise. There has been so much rain. Everyone making their way back to the pits. And the start has been delayed here, ladies and gentlemen. The start has been delayed. Very, very unfortunate, and what can you do? There's just huge amounts of spray, and if Piastri in second place can't see, then how is anyone else going to be able to see? Driving Formula One cars in rain is just huge amounts of commitment. You just have to, hit the brake pedal and hope that you're still on the circuit when you arrive at a corner. It is, an extraordinary feat that these drivers even managed to drive in the rain, and there is just too much water on the circuit, so we're going to have a bit of a delay. We haven't got a message over race control on when the delay is going to finish, but as soon as we get a message, I will put a timer up on the screen, and then we will wait and count down till then. They should use the full wets, really, but the issue isn't the full wets. It's not the issue isn't the tyres are aquaplaning and the drivers are spinning off. The issue is that there's just no visibility whatsoever. especially on a sort of narrow circuit like Miami. You know, let's say we were at Spa, the circuit is so wide, you can take loads of different lines here, and even if there's no visibility directly behind the car in front of you, then you can move over to the other side of the circuit, and you can have, you know, a little bit more visibility there because there isn't spray, and then the driver behind you can move to a slightly different part of the circuit. But here in Miami, the circuit is so narrow that you basically you're stuck behind the driver in front of you, and you're stuck in their spray. Okay, we've got 15,000 people tuned into live stream. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Apologies for the delayed start. Of course, I have no control over it. It's all over Mother Nature that has caused this rain. But I'd much prefer a wet race rather than a dry race. So yeah, just hang in there, and I'll get you a message from race control of when the race is going to start. Okay. Why not move Leclerc to the bottom? Did not start. Leclerc, as soon as the race actually begins, Leclerc will go down into 20th position. F1 Gamer, so the sprint could be cancelled. The sprint most likely will not be cancelled. It will just be delayed. So I'll get you the information as soon as I can. But Max Verstappen is looking to change his headrest out. He's got he just wants a different headrest on his car. Apparently his head is a little bit too far back. But yeah, the driver's now just getting comfortable. But they're all still sat in the car, which is normally a sign that we're going to get going within the next 10 minutes or so. Normally they, you know, get out of the car and then wait around and take off their race suits and stuff. But oh, this could actually help out Charles Leclerc here, ladies and gentlemen. Leclerc traditionally would not have had time to start this race. However, potentially the mechanics could fix his car and he could start this race. This could be this could be interesting here. I'll keep an eye on that. Maybe there's some regulations, rules saying that he can't do that, but we'll have to wait and see. Because technically the race hasn't begun yet. They did the formation lap, but the race hasn't started. So maybe Leclerc could get back into the car and get back into the race. F1 Gamer, what are the updates on your data? We've just got, well, more team radio. We've got top speeds at the bottom middle of the screen, and then we've got the fastest sectors just above the team radios. So a couple more things just on the data, really, for you folks that are interested in that. And as you can see, for, ladies and gents, originally we had 19 laps of racing. That has now been reduced to 18 laps because every lap that gets completed behind the safety car is still one less lap of racing that the drivers will do. So, you know, in the same way that when the safety car comes out during an actual race, you reduce the lap counter keeps going up. The lap counter before the race has started, the lap counter just reduces by 1. So we're going to have 18 laps of racing rather than 19. Norris comes over the radio and asks, why did they stop it? I mean, I think it's fairly obvious, Norris, isn't it? It's because, yeah, too much rain. And by the looks of it, a lot of drivers are getting out now. Alonso's out of the car, Max is getting out of the car, Piastri's out of the car, Norris is getting out of the car as well. Yeah, a lot of drivers getting out of the car. Seems like we might be delayed for a little bit more than 10 minutes, unfortunately. Does that mean technically a whole race could be done behind the safety car? Technically it could. I mean, Belgium 2021 was technically all behind the safety car. They did 3 laps of racing and then all behind the safety car and then called it a day and gave out half points or something like that. So yeah, probably they could do that if they wanted to, but I suspect they won't. All right. Yeah. Thank you everyone for tuning in so far, and apologies for the delays and well, the red flag. We shall be getting underway shortly. Yeah, I'm gonna have a quick sip of water. It seems like we might have to enter the F1 Gamer podcast mode rather than commentary mode while we wait for this red flag to be called off. The thing is, though, how is conditions really going to improve? Like the race has been delayed because of visibility issues. However, how is the visibility going to magically improve now? Because the rain had already stopped before the race actually begun. Like the formation lap, there was still no rain going on then. It was all just spray. And if the water doesn't drain away, then it's not going to... then the spray issue is going to be the exact same. So I don't know exactly what they're going to do about this, but maybe, they should have done a couple laps more behind the safety car, and then the track itself would have cleared up. How bad is the rain? The rain is, clearly not that bad that the drivers have to go on full wets, but it is bad enough that they have no visibility. So, yeah, in a medium ground then. And typically from the FIA we get a 10-minute warning, so a 10-minute warning before the race will restart. So I will let you know once we get the message over race control for a 10-minute warning, but as of right now we have no warning, and Lando Norris makes his way out of the car. Alright, got 13,000 people tuned into the stream. Thank you everyone for tuning in, and we're getting pretty close to our subscriber target. And once again, I just do have to mention, if you guys do want to watch the race, in all of its wet glory, then all you've got to do is get Surfshark VPN. You get Surfshark VPN, then you join an Austrian VPN server. You search on Google Service TV, you make an account and you can watch Formula 1 for free. So the only thing you need to pay for is Surfshark VPN. So if you guys are interested, then go ahead and check that out. It helps out the channel as well, since I'm sponsored by them. And yeah, very much is appreciated. All right, let me get rid of that. Oh no, there. Okay, I guess I'll put up on the screen just rain, heavy rain, delay causes red flag. All right. And yeah, I'll get rid of that once we get underway. But folks, now since we've got 13,000 people here on the stream, if you have any questions for me, anything that you want to ask about Formula 1, anything in general, be sure to let me know. Since now I'll be able to actually answer most of these questions. If you give me, if you do at F1 Gamer, then it'll pop up red on my screen, and I'm much more likely to do it. Service doesn't work if I don't think €1 to watch. You need an Austrian billing address. No, I don't know about that, because there are at least 5-6 people in the chat saying that they were using Service TV yesterday. So yeah, I think it still does work. Yeah. F1 Gamer, do you think Checo will come back? There are reports, the Mexico Grand Prix has been extended out till 2029, I think it is. And so potentially that's been extended because Sergio Perez is joining Cadillac, so maybe that's going to happen. But yeah, I'm not particularly sure. Okay, F1 Gamer, how's revision going? Pretty well. Did quite a few past papers today. How do you get the comms data? You need to get F1 TV. There's also a link for that in the description, and then you can sign into this thing called Multiviewer, and that'll give you all of the data. What happened to Leclerc? He was aquaplaning. He aquaplaned going through turn number 9, and then went off into the wall. So that's what happened to Charles Leclerc. At F1 Gamer, what is your favourite Formula 1 driver or team? My favourite F1 driver is Sebastian Vettel. At F1 Gamer, can you explain all of the tyres? Well, we have the soft, medium and hard tyres. The softest tyres are the quickest tyres, but they wear out the quickest. The medium tyres are a middle ground, and the hard tyres are the slowest tyres, but they're the most durable. The intermediate tyres can displace up to 35 litres of water per second, and they're used in intermediately wet conditions. And the full wets can displace up to 65 litres of water per second, and they used it when it's absolutely soaking. Yeah. Okay, if will Charles participate if the sprint continues? I think Charles might be able to participate. There's a chance that they'll be able to fix the car and still be able to re-enter the race. I'm not 100% sure on the rules though, so we shall see. Verstappen or Vettel? Well, I'll say Vettel just because he's my favourite driver. All right. Oh, we've got so many messages here. I might not even be able to get all of these. Using Service TV right now, thank you. Okay, yeah, so Service TV is working. What else have we got? Do you think Colapinto will step in at Imola? Probably not. He might do a free practice 1 session, but I don't think he's going to be doing a full race by any stretch of the imagination. Okay, how come the teams no longer have spare cars? It was just sort of a cost reduction measure, really. Like, you've got to think here, like, Ferrari can afford to have a spare car, but Haas, they don't have all that much money, and it costs a lot to build a Formula 1 car. So building an entirely spare one, just for the off chance that one of your drivers crashes maybe 15 minutes before the race, is, a little bit pointless. So that's why they got rid of the spare car. Okay. What is your real name? It's Formula One Gamer. That's what it says on my passport. What is the first GP that you watched? It was the Belgian Grand Prix 2018. Pretty recent, to be fair. Well, I say pretty recent. It's 7 years ago. But yeah, I say a fairly recent Formula One fan. Okay. Will qualifying be delayed because of the delay in the sprint? Probably not. We could, because there's still a fairly big gap between qualifying and the sprint. So I suspect that we still will have qualifying at the normal time, especially because the circuit will dry up throughout the day, throughout the when the sprint goes on, and there'll be 19 laps of racing. The circuit will dry up, and qualifying won't get delayed because of any sort of rain or anything like that. F1 Gamer, what do you study in uni? Study engineering. Still no update from the FIA here, ladies and gents. Very, very unfortunate. I will let you know as soon as one comes through, but no updates from the FIA. Okay. Love the radio messages, but now doubling it's harder to read. Maybe it's just me on a phone. Yeah, I can see this is the thing, right? I can zoom everything in, but then if I zoom everything in, then it becomes a lot harder. Like, I can just show you now. I'm not going to keep it zoomed in for the entire stream, but if I zoom stuff in, then it means less data up on the screen, and it's a little bit, it's tricky to manage everything, because of course some people are watching on their phones, some people are watching on their TVs. If you make it ridiculously big, then people on their TVs feel like, well, it's a bit of a waste of space. Everything's I could get more information if the font was smaller. So it's a bit of a balancing act, but I'll just show you what a bigger font size would look like. So yeah, that's a bigger font size, but then of course you can see we've got two drivers cut off. It only goes up into 18th place. The text get a little bit bigger, but yeah, it's not ideal really. So as of right now, I'm going to keep it the way it was. Okay. Do you think Miami will be doing its last F1 race? No. How many DNFs do you think there'll be? I think I predicted, 3 DNFs? So we've already got one in the... Oh no, Leclerc was a did not start. He's not a DNF. Oh, we've got a race restart time. Race is restarting in 7 minutes here, ladies and gentlemen. 7 minutes. The race is going to restart. Let me just put a timer up on the screen. Here we go. All right. Race is restarting in 7 minutes and 15 seconds. Ladies and gentlemen, we are getting underway for the race here in Miami. Okay. What first got you interested in Formula One? Love your commentaries, keep it up. What first got me interested in Formula One? Well, actually, it was a WTF1 video. When Matt and Tommy were still with WTF1. There was a video recommended to me at the mid-season break in 2018, and I was like, oh, Formula One's going to start like next weekend, so I set a reminder or something. I remembered, and then I watched the race where Sebastian Vettel won. Oh no, sorry, there's a correction. The race is starting in 3 minutes time. Somehow the FIA mistyped when the session's restarting. We're going to have an extra 3-minute delay. I don't know what the FIA is doing really. Bit of a mess from them, but either way, yeah. What is aquaplaning? So aquaplaning is what happens when you're driving along at, say, 80 miles per hour, and in normal dry conditions, you have got the rubber from your tire that is touching the asphalt on the road, and that touching the connection between those two surfaces is what is giving you the grip, to turn, to brake, to steer, all of those things. And when you're on water, what happens is, of course, you've got that layer of water that is on top of the asphalt, and then you've got your rubber from your tire. So there is that layer of water, and that's why you need treads on. When the circuit is wet, you need treaded tires, so the water gets forced into those treads, and then it gets pushed out the back of the car, and the rest of the rubber, which isn't treaded, that will be touching the asphalt to give you grip. Aquaplaning is when there is so much water on the circuit that it can't actually fit into the treaded area of the circuit of the tire. So then, instead of some parts of the circuit, some parts of the asphalt touching your rubber from your tire, it's all you're just on top of this layer of water, so you're not actually touching any asphalt, you're just on a layer of water, and you just slide around, and you have no turning grip, you can't brake, you can't steer, you can't do anything, and yeah. And that's what happened to Charles Leclerc, who was driving along at around 200, no, probably not 200, probably 150 miles per hour. He was probably got up into 7th or 8th gear. And then what happened was that he, instead of touching the asphalt, his car just lifted up on top of a layer of water. He had no control over the car, and into the barriers he went. Okay. Oh, thank you for the donation here, Exoteric. Very much is appreciated. Thanks for the great energy and ad blocks. Let the mayhem begin. Indeed, let the mayhems begin. And you've been a member for 8 months. Thank you so much, Exoteric. It is very much appreciated. They've sort of made a sport out of it in Iceland, driving on water. Well, if any of those Icelandic drivers make their way to Formula One, we can learn. Surely these Formula One drivers could learn some things from them as well. We've hit 152k as well. That is fantastic. Thank everyone. Thank you everyone for hitting the subscribe button. Let's see. I think the target for the end of the quali stream was actually 153k. So if we can hit that before the quali stream even begins, that'd be fantastic. We're just making our way. On trajectory for 200k subs by the end of the season, and that'll be that'll be incredible if we could hit that. So yeah, we are 6 minutes away now from the start of the sprint race, and just blocking all of the adverts here. Just give me a second here. Just going to make sure that you guys don't get any more adverts while the race is about to get underway. All right, fantastic. Okay. F1 Gamer, if you were to pick 2 drivers for your own team, who would you choose? I would choose Sebastian Vettel and I don't know. Sebastian Vettel and Oscar Piastri. Why not Oscar Piastri? He's on great form. He's been Mr. Consistent. He hasn't had a DNF in the last 33 races. He's always been within a 10th of pole position this season. So why not? Let's go with Oscar Piastri. But I think Vettel versus Alonso would be a fantastic teammate combo. F1 Gamer, did you hear about MBS considering changing the swearing regulations? I did, but I'm not going to believe him until he actually changes them. He can say whatever he wants for a PR radio's sake, like to say, oh yeah, we're becoming a better sport by listening to the drivers and things like that, but I won't believe it until it actually happens. Is there a chance for the race being delayed or cancelled? Probably not, given the fact that we are now 5 minutes away from the race restarting. We've got an official message from race control. It looks like the race is set to get underway. Okay. F1 Gamer W, mate, for no ads on your stream. Well, very much is appreciated. There's really no need for the adverts. YouTube just loves giving you guys adverts because YouTube gets to make a bunch of money off it. But yeah, I'm not having any of it. All right. Fantastic. F1 Gamer, who do you think are going to be the 2026 rookies? I think Colapinto will be a rookie, and maybe we'll get... Actually, I'm not sure who else will be a rookie. We've had so many rookies join this year. We sort of get, some off years of rookies where we have loads of them, and then some years we have no rookies whatsoever. So I think 2026 might be one of those years where we have no rookies. Okay. Alonso will still be a rookie. Apologies. I forgot about that. F1 Gamer is here when you hit 150k subs. Well, thank you very much. All right. Yeah, apologies, folks, if I missed your message. If you want to put it in again, we've got still 4 minutes, so I'll do my best to answer all of them. But it's getting they scroll by so quickly. Miami Grand Prix marks my anniversary of starting to watch F1, even though I started following F1 a while ago. Thank you, F1 Gamer. Well, thank you, Fire Diego. Yeah, Miami's a pretty good race to watch, really. And we've got the medical car now driving around. The circuit seems to have dried up a little bit more. So we should be fine to go racing. And in fact, the medical car is drifting around a little bit here. Nice and, medical car drivers pushing nice and hard. And we should be getting underway. There shouldn't be too many issues for spray because, the water will have drained away now. So, yeah. Okay, how many laps to go? So we'll have 18 laps of racing. It says there on the bottom left of the screen how many laps we'll have. So that is how it's going to be. F1 Gamer, who do you think Arvin Lindblad will replace? If not, will he joins RB for 2026? Well, he could replace. It's either going to be Hadjar or Lawson. That's who he's going to replace. But I think if Hadjar and Lawson, deliver what they're expected of this season, then it should be fine. And I think Lindblad will have to wait a while to get a seat. Sonoda in 20th. Yeah, Sonoda will be in 20th because he started from the pit lane. He modified his setup, so he's going to be starting from the back of the grid, and that is why he has. He's dropped from 18th to 20th. 20th. Shelbatron, thank you for the $10 donation. Appreciate the commentary. Should be an exciting weekend. Indeed it is. It's going to be a fantastic weekend. And we're getting underway for the race in 2 minutes' time. Do you think the South Africa will be back on the calendar? Well, I'd love for South Africa to be back on the calendar, but I don't know if it's going to happen, really. South Africa have to pay a lot of money for Formula One for that to happen. So we shall just have to wait and see. You're the best F1 commentator, please don't go. Well, I'll do my best, but I think if I got a phone call from F1 TV to become a commentator for them, then what I would do is make it such that in my contract it would say I'd commentate for F1 TV, but I also get to put my commentary up on YouTube because, well, you know, I've got to remember my roots, and if doing this on YouTube is what gets me a commentary job, then definitely going to remember you guys. When is Miami Quali? Miami Quali is going to be, let me have a look at when Miami Quali is going to be. So it's going to be in 3.5 hours, 3.5 hours from now. But I'll let you know once the sprint race finishes. Yeah. F1 Gamer, do you think Kimi can win? Well, he's going to be starting in first place. He's definitely got the pace in the dry. In the wet conditions, not so much. Well, I don't really know. I don't really know who's going to have the pace in wet conditions. Maybe it's going to be Max Verstappen showing absolute domination once again, or it could be Lando Norris like he won in Australia in those wet and slippery conditions. Maybe Oscar Piastri is going to step up to the challenge, or maybe Kimi Antonelli is going to hold on to pole position and get a race win. So we shall wait and see. But just over the radio now to Isaac Hajar, we see no rain expected. So no rain is forecast our way now. Any rain that was going to happen has already fell. Even though the cloud looks very, very cloudy in Miami, you never really know. The weather did say 10% yesterday when I checked. So maybe we'll get a little bit more rain later on. But as of right now, it looks like no rain for now. Let me get rid of this text up on the screen because we've no longer got a red flag. We've got 14,000 people tuned into live stream. Thank you everyone for tuning in. The race is restarting in 30 seconds here, ladies and gentlemen. 30 seconds. At F1 Game, I'd only be okay if you give up commentating if you got an F1 engineering job. Still demand a weekly podcast, though. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's the other thing. If I became an F1 engineer, then I don't know, if I was working for McLaren, I don't know how happy they would be me not working on Fridays and not, seeing what's going on in the practice sessions and, in fact, commentating and potentially, I actually wouldn't leak any McLaren secrets. Let's be real. I wouldn't leak any secrets. Otherwise, I'd pretty quickly lose my job. What mic do I have? I have a Sennheiser E835S. Yeah, it's the mic that they have on the space station. So that the astronauts use on the space station. So I'd say it's a pretty good mic here. Countdown time has gone to 0. The pit lane exit is open. We've got a green light at the end of the pit lane, and we are about to get underway for racing here, ladies and gents. So what is going to happen is the driver's coming out of the pits now. This is going to be the formation lap, and when Antonelli makes his way around to the first position grid slot, that is when we will be starting the race. So there's not going to be another formation lap. This is the lap behind. This is going to be the formation lap. Did they manage to fix Leclerc's car? By the looks of it, no. I don't think Leclerc would have been allowed. So, yeah, unfortunate, really. But that's how it goes. Leclerc dropping down the grid now. He's going to drop down all the way to 20th position. Okay. Also, just have to let you guys know this since I am sponsored by Surfshark VPN. If you guys are interested in watching Formula 1 for $2 a month, you can get Surfshark VPN from the link in the description. Then you can join an Austrian VPN by downloading it. You download it onto your computer, just press join on the Austrian one, and then you go onto Google, search Service TV, make an account, log in, and then you can watch Formula 1 for free. And, look at this. Carlos Sainz has switched onto the intermediate tyres as well. So everyone was starting on the intermediates apart from Sainz. He was on the wets. Sainz has also switched over to the intermediate tyres. So, yeah, if you guys want to watch Formula 1 for $2 a month, there's a link in the description, link in the chat. Go ahead and check that out. Okie dokes. So that is the sponsor message out of the way. I'm going to continue blocking the adverts, and here we go. We've got Kimi Antonelli making his way through the middle sector now towards turn number 17. We are about to get underway for the Miami Grand Prix sprint race. All right. Why Tsunoda in P20? So Tsunoda had modified his setup. So he was going to start the race in 18th position, but what happened was that Red Bull just decided, well, if he's going to be in 18th, we might as well change the setup to put on a wet setup, and then he'll be better in wet conditions. So that's what's happening there. Safety car is staying out apparently. That's what they've said to Lewis Hamilton, but we shall wait and see. We'll wait and see what's going on if we're going to have It looks like it's raceable. Okay, so Verstappen said over the radio it's raceable, and all of these drivers now getting ready. So here comes Kimi Antonelli, and it looks like we're doing another lap behind the safety car, is it? Or is he going to come to a stop on the grid? No, another lap behind the safety car here, ladies and gentlemen. For whatever reason, they didn't send a message over race control, but we're doing another lap behind the safety car before we get underway for some racing. How does a sprint race work? It's just the exact same as a normal race, except that you don't have to do a pit stop, and yeah, that's about it, really. Okay, I'm gonna have, and it's shorter as well. That's it. So, yeah. All right, the safety car should come in this lap, but I'll let you know once we get a message from race control. We've got 17,000 people tuned into live stream. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Very much is appreciated. We're going to have Kimi Antonelli leading the way from the front. Then we're going to have Piastri, Norris, Verstappen in first, second, third, and fourth. Russell, Hamilton's, Albon, and Hadjar in fifth, sixth, seventh, and eighth. Are going to have a standing start. Just got the message from race control, standing start. So the safety car is going to go into the pit lane. Antonelli's going to line up in first position. Piastri alongside him in second place. And we're going to be starting from the grid. No safety car restart. It's going to be from the grid. Charles Leclerc crashed into the wall on the when he came out of the pits originally before the red flag even came out. So yeah, Charles Leclerc is not going to be taking part in this race, but thank you everyone for tuning in. We've got 18,000 people. That's incredible. I think might be approaching a record for the number of people watching a sprint quali stream. That would be yeah, kind of mind blowing. Okay, but yeah, very much is appreciated everyone tuning in, and hope you guys are enjoying the coverage. We'll be getting underway very, very shortly. Okay, I'm going to have a quick sip of water. And yeah, Anthony just making his way down the back straight now. There's a lot less spray than there was before. And with the way things are drying up, we may even see the drivers switch onto slicks by the end of this race. We'll just have to wait and see. The circuit has dried up rapidly in the space of about 10 minutes. So there is a chance that it could, well, by the end of the sprint, we could be seeing some slicks. We'll just have to wait and see. All right, here we go then. Lap number... Well, we're going to start on lap number 2 rather than, of course, lap number 1 because, well, we've had laps behind the safety car, we've had for extra formation laps, things like that, but it'll be clear, it says 17 laps of racing as of now. I think once Antonelli comes across the start-finish line, it'll dip down to 16 laps of racing. But nonetheless, it's going to be a fantastic race with Antonelli starting in first position. He put together a brilliant, brilliant lap. He's the youngest driver to have a fastest lap. He's the youngest driver to lead a race. He's the youngest driver to have a sprint pole position. Of course, these records are just because he is the youngest driver, but nonetheless, he has delivered. He's lived up to the hype that Toto Wolff had and was... Well, the future looks bright for Mercedes. Thank you, Ryan, for joining the channel member. Very much is appreciated. And if I'm when you're doing a face reveal, I don't know, maybe 200k, but no guarantees, no promises. Okay, here we go then, ladies and gentlemen. We have got all of the car drivers now lining up on the grid. From the back of the grid, we have got Tsunoda, Behrman, Bortoleto, Doohan, Stroll, Sainz, Lawson, Gasly, Ocon in 11th, Hulkenberg in 10th, Alonso in 9th, Hadjar in 8th, Albon in 7th, Hamilton 6th, Russell 5th, Verstappen 4th, Norris 3rd, Piastri 2nd, Antonelli 1st. We have got the last car approaching the grid. Yuki Tsunoda lines up on his grid slot. We have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lights, and the engines are revving, the foots are flat to the floor, and we are underway for the race here in Miami. And Oscar Piastri gets a fantastic start side by side with Antonelli into turn 1. Antonelli swoops, there's contact, Antonelli misses the braking zone, goes wide, and Oscar Piastri's into the lead of this race, and Antonelli loses 3 places going into turn number 1. What a bad race start for him. Piastri's in the lead of this race, Norris in 2nd, Verstappen in 3rd, and Antonelli in 4th. 4. Thank you for the donation, Athene. Spent the rain on all of these laps to finish it. Now we're not finishing in the same order. Everything's going into chaos here. We've got Hulkenberg losing 3 positions as well, and not a great start. Not a great start. We're not going to have DRS here. We've currently, as you can see on the screen, there are 3 DRS zones, but no DRS since we are in the wet conditions. And it's a McLaren 1-2, but I don't think that's going to last particularly long. With his super duper long straights, Max Verstappen is going to be a man on a mission. Just remember what he was like in Brazil last year, just gaining places left, right, and centre. 17 fastest laps in Brazil last year. So I suspect we're going to see something feisty here from Max today. A rookie mistake, really, from Antonelli. He had already lost the position to Piastri by going through. He had lost the position to Piastri. It was quite clear, but then he backed out of it way too late. And because he backed out of it too late, that means Norris and Verstappen could slide through. And he also went off the circuit as well, which doesn't help. So, very, very unfortunate there for Antonelli. But, he's a rookie. Cut him some slack. He still put in a sensational lap together yesterday to put himself up into sprint pole. All right, Piastri with the clean air, with no spray ahead of him, has pulled a gap to his teammate of 1.7 seconds. Piastri is coming over the radio now and saying, "Look at me, Lando. I'm the number 1 driver now." And he is, he's pulling away, and Max Verstappen is still applying some pressure to Lando Norris. Alright, so Yuki Tsunoda, fastest driver on the circuit, and rightfully so. He's the only driver with a wet setup on. Everyone else has got a dry setup. Yuki Tsunoda, the only driver with a wet setup, and he manages to go a significant chunk quicker than the rest of the drivers. Okay, we've got 21,000 people to tune into live stream. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Hope you guys are enjoying the coverage. I'll be commentating for qualifying and the race tomorrow. We will probably have a wet track for quali as well. Definitely for Q1. I don't know about Q3. Maybe the circuit will dry up by that point. But thank you everyone for tuning in. It's been a pleasure commentating to you guys so far. We've 4 laps. We've already 4 laps into this sprint race. We've got 15 laps left of racing, and let's wait and see what will happen with the top 3 being Piastri, Norris, and Verstappen. Further back, we have got a couple of battles. Bring Stroll up 5 positions, Lawson up 5 positions. Huge positions gains for those 2 drivers. Great race starts, and Lawson, in fact, gets ahead of his teammate, Isaac Hadjar. So, brilliant job there from Liam Lawson. And let's wait and see what happens with all of the other drivers. As you can see here, Piastri quickest in the first sector, quickest in the second sector, quickest in the third sector. Total domination from Piastri. And, we'll see how he manages this gap. We've got 15 laps remaining of this race. All right, across the line he goes, and look at that, McLaren 1-2, Piastri quickest in all 3 sectors, and Lando Norris second quickest in all 3 sectors. Sainz comes across the line, Ocon re-overtakes Sainz going through turn number 17, great battle between those 2 drivers, and, hopefully they don't lose too much time, because if they do, then Pierre Gasly is going to come knocking on the door ASAP. Alright, Stroll has done a brilliant job though in the rain, gaining quite a few places. Now he's got Isaac Hadjar next up on his overtaking list. Alonso as well, applying a lot of pressure to the back of Albon. Albon is struggling a little bit, not able to keep up with Lewis Hamilton, so I have a feeling Alonso is going to be closing up, and he's going to be looking to make some moves here. Potentially get up into the top 5, because, the rain is the great equaliser, and even if you've got a tractor like the Aston Martin, you could potentially stick it up into 5th position. All right. Lewis is complaining. What is he complaining about? I don't know. But it must be the water. That's probably what it is. We'll make sure to add that to the words of wisdom. Okay. Yeah, look at that. Everyone now in the top 9 has broken a 1-second gap between the driver ahead and behind of them. Everyone's spreading out now. Will Piastri get a penalty? Absolutely not. Everything that Piastri did was totally fine. It was Antonelli, the driver, that caused the contact and then went off the circuit as well. So Piastri will not be getting a penalty for that one. Antonelli just missed his braking zone. All right. So Yeah, let's wait and see. Let's wait and see. Will Max be able to close up to Lando Norris? Sainz once again re-overtakes now Ocon going towards turn number 17. Sainz locked up at turn number 17 on his quali lap yesterday, which put him down in 12th position. Otherwise, he'll be up with his teammate. But Ocon re-overtakes him again. Another brilliant exit there for Esteban Ocon. He lets Carlos Sainz go down the inside, gets the switch back on him, says, "Thank you very much. I'll see you later, Carlos." And yeah, great battling between those two drivers. And as you can see, Ocon is in fact the slowest through the speed trap. Oh, no, sorry, in 14th place through the speed trap. Not particularly quick, to be honest. And he's got a lot more places to gain. Okay. Here we go then. Yeah, no further investigation. We've just got the message over race control. No further investigation between Antonelli and Piastri on their turn 1, lap 1 collision. Fantastic, fantastic. Okay, has Piastri got damage from the contact? No, it wasn't major. It was sort of wheel-on-wheel contact. It wasn't like barge board or front wing breaking into anything like that. It was wheel-on-wheel and they were fine. Verstappen quickest in the first sector. Looks like he's going to be picking up the pace here. All right. I mean, he's not that much quicker. On the previous lap, the gap between Verstappen's lap time and Norris's lap time, 2 milliseconds. Genuinely so close. And then we've got Piastri, who's 2 tenths quicker than both drivers up in the lead of this race. So, yeah, Piastri is, well, very consistent. And honestly, he has got the traits of being a world champion. Let's wait and see. He's 10 points in the lead of the championship right now. He is 10 points ahead of his teammate Lando Norris and 12 points ahead of Max Verstappen. How do the points work in the sprint races? The points work by essentially 8 points for the driver in first place, and then you've got 8 points for drivers in first place, 7 points for the driver in second place, 6 points for the driver in third place, and so on and so forth till you get to 0 points. Yeah, and we've got a very big discrepancy here in top speeds as well. As you can see through the speed traps, Russell going 265k through the speed trap, and then we've got a couple of other drivers having huge top speeds, and that's purely down to slipstream and purely down to who can get onto the power earlier. Yeah, a little bit interesting. I would have expected the top speed to sort of level out by now, but for whatever reason, I don't know if they're not updating or there's some issues there, but yeah, Antonelli had the quickest speed trap speed. Maybe they're not updating, but as of right now, I think it should be okay. All right, and Piastri with the fastest lap of the race there. Oh, sorry. No, not. He's got fastest first sector. He hasn't got a fast lap of the race. Not on this previous lap, at least. Yeah, I don't know why there's an 80 km/h difference. That might be a mistake, to be honest. I think the speed traps might have been switched off or something along those lines because they're not updating anymore. So maybe take those numbers with a grain of salt. All right, we're on lap number 7 of 18. We're nearly halfway through this race already. The circuit is drying up. The drivers already now having to go offline to cool down their tyres because the circuit is drying up so much that their intermediate tyres are now reaching the stage where they're overheating. So potentially switch onto the slick tyres, potentially, but you're going to lose so much time in the pit lane. You're going to have to you have to gain back a lot of time. So I'll just have to wait and see. Okay. Oh, Sainz goes deep, nearly hits the barrier, and Sainz loses the position to Ocon again. Sends one down the inside, and Sainz and Ocon are battling away again and again, but they're down in 12th and 13th place. They're going to need... They should probably work together and gain some more places rather than battling away for 13th. And if I'm given which driver had the fastest reaction at the start, unfortunately, I don't know that statistic right now. I haven't seen that come through the radio message. So, but I'm guessing by the fact that Lawson gained 5 places off the race start, and so did Stroll, probably one of those two drivers. Why aren't the number of laps changing for the tyres? Oh, that's an interesting question, actually. I have no idea. Yeah, it seems like the FIA's systems are having a bit of an off day. In the same way that Russell's GPS was broken, it looks like their systems aren't working as expected. So, yeah, apologies for that. But nobody's going to be pitting anyway. Everyone's going to continue on the intermediate tyres. If they do pit, I will let you know. All right, Charles would have been second by now. Well, he would have been second if he hadn't crashed, and that's a pretty big if, because, well, he did crash quite badly. How long does the sprint go for? Well, as you can see, there is 18 laps left. Well, we've got 11 laps after this race, and each lap takes a minute 40, so probably another 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes or so. $1 billion sport, FYI. Yeah, honestly, I don't know why or how their systems keep messing up, but George Russell now is catching up to Antonelli here. Look at this gap, 0.3 of a second. We have got a Mercedes civil war going down in towards turn 1. Russell is gaining and gaining. He looks to the inside. He doesn't send a move on to his teammate. But yeah, not ideal there. Those two drivers are going to start squabbling away. Russell has got more race pace by the looks of it. Verstappen's coming over the radio saying, my Verstappen is absolutely effed and I have no visibility. So yeah, Verstappen can't see in front of him, but somehow he's still driving and somehow is still keeping up with Norris. So yeah, don't know what's happening there, but clearly the visor is, well, not in the correct, it hasn't got the anti-fog or whatever it is that it needs for wet conditions. Okay, we've got 22,000 people tuned into the live stream. Thank you everyone for tuning in. If you haven't hit the like button, be sure to do so. If you haven't subscribed, be sure to do that as well. Also, I am running a giveaway. I forgot to mention this earlier. But if you guys do want to win Surfshark VPN so you can watch the Formula 1 coverage for free rather than paying the $2 per month, then all you've got to do is subscribe and type a message into chat. Just one message works, and then I'll download the chat once the stream finishes, and you get entered into the giveaway. So if you guys are interested, be sure to subscribe, because you need to subscribe for at least a minute before you can type a message in chat anyway. Okay. All right, let's continue on with the coverage then. So we have got Piastri 3 seconds clear of his teammate, the same gap between Norris and Verstappen. Antonelli also 3 seconds back, but Russell, all eyes on him down that huge straight. He is gaining huge chunks of time. He's got 313 Ks through the speed traps there. All of the other drivers without a tow, they're doing 300 Ks, maybe 295, and Russell 313 Ks, gaining lots of time on his teammate. And here he looks to the inside, this time a tenth closer. Is he going to send a move to the inside? Is he not? Oh, Antonelli goes defensive, and Russell is, Russell still stays behind him for now, but it's getting closer and closer. We're going to get a battle sooner or later. Okay, they've come over the radio to Carlos Sainz saying right now the Inter is faster than the Slick. Stay out for now. So yeah, I don't think they're going to pit now. With only 8 laps left to go, you're not going to gain that much time by going on to slick tyres, I think. So you might as well just stay out on the intermediates, because you're going to lose 25 seconds or so in a pit stop. So yeah, losing 25 seconds and gaining that back in 8 laps is pretty much impossible. All right. Let's see. Here we go then. Russell is in fact a second back now from Antonelli. I don't know if he made a mistake or something, but just looking at the first sector time there, Russell was a full second slower than Antonelli. So yeah, clearly lost some time on his teammate through the first sector, and things not going well for him. And we have got Albon now closing up to the back of Lewis Hamilton. So we shall see what Albon can do. Of course, that Williams is very, very slippery in a straight line. So let's wait and see what will happen there. Russell's come over the radio and he's saying something. He's saying, I've got a lot more pace here, guys. And they say, copy that, George. So Russell's saying, I've got a lot more pace. Pretty typical Formula 1 driver stuff. But, you know, if you had the pace, Russell, then why did you make a mistake in the first sector? DRS has been enabled, ladies and gentlemen. DRS has been enabled. This is going to help Alex Albon. Here he comes out of the final corner, and he's going to be using DRS. Behrman's using DRS. Here we go. We're going to have a lot more overtakes now in the final 8 laps of this race. And I think now that DRS has been enabled, Verstappen will be told over the radio, time to attack, time to close that gap up. Piastri as well, that gap's going to close up. It looks like Piastri might have made a mistake coming here through the first sector, because he's lost about a second to his teammate. And as the track now starts drying up, there's a dry line forming. If you drift off the dry line by a millimeter, by 10 centimeters, you lose huge amounts of grip, and the drivers are going to have to be very, very precise with how they place their car. And as you can see, yeah, Piastri loses half a second in the first sector to his teammate. And yeah, these drivers now, this is when that utmost precision is required for them to place the car in the exact same place lap after lap. Tsunoda comes into the pits. It looks like Tsunoda's coming out on a set of medium tyres 8 laps after this race. I don't know how much time he's going to gain, but everyone now, every single strategist is going to be looking at Yuki Tsunoda's lap times, and you know, we'll have our eyes peeled as well to see if he's going to be setting purple sectors, and if he's setting purple sectors, 2-3 seconds quicker than everyone else, then everyone's going to dive into the pit lane. But let's wait and see. Okay, Carlos did pass Ocon, indeed he did. Finally did get that move done. And now here we've got Alex Albon just exiting out of turn number 16. We have got a DRS zone there. Hamilton has got no DRS in front of him. Alex Albon does. The gap is 7/10 of a second. He opens that DRS flap. They've both got, oh sorry, they haven't both got Mercedes power units. Just Albon has got a Mercedes power unit. For Hamilton in the Ferrari, he is gaining and gaining. They say box for medium for Lewis Hamilton. And looks like we may be seeing some drivers come into the pits. At least they've said to Hamilton, but that's a Ferrari strategy here. Hamilton's coming over the radio saying soft tyres. Okay, so Hamilton's coming into the pits for a set of softs. I don't know if this is the best strategy. Let's have a look at Tsunoda's lap times here now. He crosses the middle sector line. And what is it going to be for Yuki Tsunoda's middle sector? A 38.6. So he goes a full second quicker than Piastri's middle sector. So a lot of drivers. So yeah, that's enough of time. Really, you could probably gain that back. It's going to be borderline, but you could gain it back. So let's just wait and see. We've got Behrman with a purple final sector. Obviously, you got that with a bit of a toe, but nonetheless, good job there from Ollie Behrman. And so we got Hamilton into the pits, Stroll into the pits, and Sainz into the pits. And with 7 laps left to go, let's see who can gain that much time. I don't know if it really makes that much sense because, see here, Yuki didn't gain that much time in the final sector. He was, in fact, slower than Behrman's final sector. So, yeah, like, there's still a lot of lap time left on the table. But with only 7 laps left to go, are you going to gain all that lap time back? But let's see. Hamilton already overtakes Bortoletto, and we're going to have an overtaking masterclass here from Hamilton. He's going to catch up to Doohan in the space of about 4 corners, and he's probably going to get an overtake done into 17. Okay, we've got a radio message here suggesting to stay out. That's what they suggest. Okay. Piastri's... Norris closes up to Oscar Piastri here in the final sector. Piastri makes another mistake in the middle sector, and Lando Norris is right on his tail. Verstappen dives into the pits, and we have got Piastri versus Norris. Verstappen into the pit lane. This is going to get so spicy. A double yellow flag. Who's the yellow flag for? Oh, track is clear, no issues there, but we've got more drivers diving into the pit lane. The McLarens stay out. The track had to change. Okay. Anyway, Hamilton purple in the middle sector, Tsunoda purple in the first sector. We've got Norris purple in the final sector, and he is gaining on his teammate now with the DRS, with the slipstream, heading towards turn number 11. Will he be able to get an overtake done? We've got a yellow in the pit lane. Someone has had an issue in the pit lane, a yellow flag in the pits. I've never seen that in my 7 years of watching Formula 1. Never have I seen a yellow flag in the pit lane. Stroll overtakes a bunch of drivers who come into it. So we've got Behrman, Gasly, Hülkenberg, Doohan, Bortoletto, Albon, Verstappen, Antonelli. All of those drivers box. We've still got half the grid out on Inters, and actually not even half, less than half the grid now out on intermediate tyres, and the other half on slicks. Well, let's just wait and see. Will Piastri and Norris be able to hold it out? We've got 6 laps remaining, and the driver who was previously in 3rd place was Max Verstappen. He is 30 seconds back from them. So in 6 laps, is Verstappen going to gain 30 seconds on Piastri? I don't really know. Also, somehow, Antonelli has got ahead of Verstappen. Verstappen was up in 3rd, and Antonelli was back in 4th, but somehow in the pit stops, they've swapped positions. So it looks like Verstappen had a slow stop there as well. Sainz is in the pits there. Looks like Sainz has DNF'd, actually. No, Sainz hasn't DNF'd. He's just come into the pits now. Piastri's into the pits. Norris staying out. I don't know what's going on here with, surely, Verstappen isn't going to gain that much time, or any of these drivers going to gain that much time. With 5 laps after, I guess you could have a puncture. That's the issue. Your intermediate tyres could puncture, and that's why everyone's coming into the pits. Norris, though, I think he might risk it. Surely one of these drivers, Alonso, there's no chance you're going to win this race, Alonso, but he comes into the pits anyway. Okay, well, I don't know, someone could hang it out on the intermediate tyres, just hoping that they don't get a puncture, because that is the real risk at this moment in time. And yeah, the drivers on the soft tyres, they've gained a lot of time. Verstappen here. Hamilton, came out on the soft tyres before Verstappen, and he's right on his tail now. Let's see what Hamilton can do. Hamilton versus Verstappen, always a great battle. They're within a second of each other. So let's wait and see. Apologies for the commentary being a little bit all over the place here, folks. There's just so much going on. I'm a bit confused Antonelli, though, drops into 12th place. He's coming in for a second pit stop. I don't know what happened there, if Antonelli got a puncture or something, but he goes back down into 12th, and that is him out of the points. Very, very unfortunate. The pole man starting in first position, down now into 12th place after having to come in for a second pit stop. Hamilton is gaining and gaining. Hamilton versus Verstappen down towards turn number 11. Verstappen on the inside line, Hamilton on the outside. Hamilton just swoops around the outside. Verstappen can do absolutely nothing about it. He's as late as the brakes as he can, but Hamilton has just got that overtake done, and now heading towards turn number 16. It's Max Verstappen's job to stay right on Hamilton's tail now, right on his tail, and if he can do that, then he can slipstream him past towards turn number 17. Norris comes into the pits now as well. Yep, Norris dives into the pit lane, and we have got Hamilton versus Verstappen, round number 2. Yellow flag is out. Alonso at turn 12. Alonso at turn 12 has stopped. I don't know if that's a GPS failure or if he has actually stopped. Alonso, huge crash for Fernando Alonso. This is his second one of the season, and he's crashed exactly where Behrman crashed in quali. Oh my goodness me. And Lando Norris has just been saved by the safety car. Lando Norris is he going to come out ahead of Piastri? Yes, he is. Oh my goodness me. The safety car has just helped out Lando Norris, and he steals away first place from Oscar Piastri. And the safety car has also prevented Verstappen from re-overtaking Lewis Hamilton. Oh my goodness me. 4 laps left of racing. Alonso climbs out the car, and yeah, he got very, very lucky with that timing. Lando did not know that Alonso was going to crash, but Alonso did, and the timing just worked perfectly in his favour, and it's first place for Norris. Okay, so now the safety car's out. I'm going to read out the positions for anyone listening to this like a radio. We've got Norris in first, Piastri in second, Hamilton third, Verstappen fourth, Albon up in 5th position, Russell in 6th, Stroll in 7th, Lawson in 9th, Lawson in 8th, Behrman in 9th. And also, look at this, we've got in the top 9, we have got 8 different teams. That is incredible. I mean, this is what happens when it starts raining. 10th position is Yuki Tsunoda, 11th is Antonelli, 12th is Gasly, 13th is Hulkenberg, 14th is Hadjar, 15th is Ocon, 16th is Bortoletto, 17th is Doohan, 18th is Alonso, but he's DNF'd. Sainz is retired from the race, and we have also got Charles Leclerc, who did not start the race. The safety car is out. The yellow flags are waving, but folks, we might finish the race behind the safety car here. So let's just consider, right? Let's say if Alonso did stay out on the intermediate tires, then he would have stayed out and he would have got the safety car, and he would have picked it up and probably finished the race behind the safety car. We'll have to wait and see. There's only but I guess if he finished the race behind the safety, if he didn't pit, then he also wouldn't have crashed and wouldn't have caused the safety car. So yeah, that probably doesn't work. Oh yeah, we got a replay here from Sainz. He clipped the curb going through turn number 13 or 14, where we've got that curb. He clipped the curb, did a full 180 and destroyed his rear wing, I think, as he went into the barriers. So not ideal there. Damaged his floor quite significantly as well, and that's why Sainz is out of this race, and a huge puncture. Okay, so Sainz had a puncture, into the pits he went, and that is why he DNF'd. Yeah, wow. I didn't even miss that. You know, Sainz had spun at turn number 16, crashed, and then got a puncture, and then came into the pits. I didn't even notice. There's so much chaos going on. And Verstappen got a damaged front wing, unsafe release from Verstappen, and that's why he lost a bit of time in his pit stop. And he's also got a damaged car. So even if he wanted to, that's why he lost the position to Hamilton, I'm guessing, because he just didn't have, and a 10-second time penalty for Max Verstappen, unsafe release, just. Oh my god, because we're behind the safety car, a 10-second time penalty, that's going to take him from up in 4th place down into 8th position. So, very, very unfortunate there for Max, just through no fault of his own. It's his team's fault. The team said go. The team gave him the green light. He went out into the pits, and then there's an unsafe release. He damages his car. He loses more time in the pit lane, and he also gets a 10-second time penalty. It's gone from bad to worse for Max Verstappen, and well, not an ideal day for the Red Bull crew. Tsunoda down in 10th, and Verstappen, well, with his 10-second time penalty, is going to bring him all the way down into, what's that going to be, 8th position, 9th position. Hamilton got up, the other drivers pitted. Yeah, when Hamilton was one of the earlier drivers to come into the pits, he also put on a set of soft tyres so he could go maximum attack, and it paid off for him. He got himself up into third place. You know, his qualifying pace may not be there, but he managed to keep the car on the road, which Leclerc couldn't, and then had the strategy genius to come over the radio to Ferrari, say, we're not going on the mediums, we are going on the softs. Ferrari listened to him, and then he's up in third place. So, you know, he may not have the outright pace as of this moment, Lewis Hamilton, but he's still got the strategic mastermind. Okay. I don't know who Verstappen collided with. It didn't show it properly over the screen, but he collided with someone and he got front wing damage. Alonso's car is still at turn number 12, so it looks like we're not going to be getting a restart anytime soon. Yeah, still taking a while for that lorry to pick it up. Maybe we'll have one lap of racing right at the end. That would be mega. That would be incredible if we could get one lap of racing for the sprint race. But thank you everyone for tuning in. We've got 26,000 people tuned into the stream. Be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe. And yeah, Anthony comes over the radio saying, I'm not sure what to say. And, you know, you got to feel for the guy. He started the race up in first position, had to come in for a second pit stop due to an unbeknownst issue. I still don't know what that issue was. But he was, yeah, unfortunately had to come into the pits again and down in 11th place. Confirm that one lap won't have DRS. The one lap won't. So if the safety car and we have one racing lap right at the end, that lap will not have DRS. Okay. Okay. So here we go then. We have got 2 laps left of racing, and well, if we don't get a message from race control now saying safety car is in this lap, then we're not going to go racing. So let's wait and see. We'll wait and see if they send a message over the radio or not. Yeah, very, very unfortunate there for Piastri. I mean, it was total luck that he, you know, pitted earlier and then Norris pitted later, and Norris happened to get the safety car. So, but the recovery vehicle is still on the track at turn number 12. So, yeah, it's not looking ideal. It's still there, and unless the safety car slows down or whatever, which I don't think it's going to do, it's always driving around at full speed, the safety car. We will probably not have a restart. Yeah, let's wait and see. Okay, also I just have to mention this since I'm sponsored by Surfshark VPN. If you guys are interested in watching the Formula 1 coverage for $2 a month, all you've got to do is get Surfshark VPN from the link in the description or the link in the chat. Download it onto your computer, join the Austrian VPN, Google Service TV, and then make an account, log in, and then you can watch Formula 1 for $2 a month. You don't have to pay for Service TV, you just have to pay for Surfshark VPN, and yeah, go ahead and check that out if you guys are interested. The commentary is in German, so, you know, if you are from Germany, then that's going to be perfect for you. But if you're not, then you can mute the commentary and you can listen to mine instead. Okay. So, yeah, Antonelli, I think, asking over the radio if there's any penalties, and then asking if Piastri got a penalty. And, yeah, Antonelli was hoping that Piastri got a penalty for that turn 1. But, you know, it was a bit of an unfortunate, really. You know, Antonelli was at wrong place, wrong time, missed his braking point, and then went off. You know, Piastri probably could have left him a little bit more room, but it didn't look like Antonelli was making the corner regardless. So, yeah. And here we are, ladies and gents. We're starting the final lap of this race, and the safety car is not coming in. So, yeah, we are under the safety car for the final lap of the race. It's only happened 7 times before in Formula 1 history. I think the last time it happened was in the Bahrain 2020... it was Bahrain 2022, maybe? We finished behind the safety car, or maybe 2023, I can't remember, but we finished behind the safety car at one point in Bahrain. Oh, actually, we're not finishing behind the safety car. The safety car's in this lap, but it's not going to matter. We're on the last lap of the race anyway. You know, the drivers aren't allowed to overtake before they come across the start-finish line. Okay. Oh, Baku 2024, indeed, yeah, Baku 2024. Forgot about that one, but yeah, we did finish behind the safety car then as well. That was a race which Antonelli won. He was under pressure from Leclerc for so many laps, and of course that was a stream that we hit 100k as well. Okay, so here we are then. Safety car is ending, and we've got 18 laps left of racing. If, let's say, if Norris wants to be nice and give his teammate the race win, then he could, but I don't think that's going to happen. Norris is already 10 points back behind in the championship. He's not going to just be gifting points to his teammate. And there's no overtaking allowed anyway before the start finish line, so it's not he can't even do it if he wanted to. And yeah, Max Verstappen, a 10 place penalty. That is going to drop him all the way down. Like, look at that. If he's got a 10 place penalty right now, he goes down into 11th, 12th position. He scores absolutely no points. So no points here for Max Verstappen. And the McLaren drivers will be gaining 8 and 7 points respectively. All right. Here we go then. It's a 10-second time penalty, but given that everyone's going to be right behind each other for the safety car restart, it's yeah, he's just going to lose all the points, lose all of the places regardless. Okay, so here we go then, ladies and gents. We come out of the final corner. Lando Norris leads the way from the front. He had a pretty good race, got lucky with the safety car. He comes across the final corner to win the Miami sprint race. Great drive there from Norris, but Piastri probably deserved that win, to be honest. And then we've got Max Verstappen with his 10-place grid penalty, dips down all the way into 16th position. Very, very unfortunate for him. But Hamilton, though, 3rd place for Lewis Hamilton after a great strategy call from him. He comes into the pits early, he's put in some solid laps, and up into 3rd place for him. Alex Albon in 4th position. Great drive from the Williams crew. And maybe in the race they can get a podium as well. Who knows what will happen. Then we've got Russell in 5th, Stroll in 6th, Lawson in 7th, and Behrman in 8th. That has been the sprint race here, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Thank you everyone for hitting the like button and subscribing. What I'm going to do now is going to end the cover. It's going to end the stream. It's going to take you over to the stream for tomorrow's race. So if you guys want to hit the like button for tomorrow's race and the reminder button, that really helps out the channel. And also there's a link on that stream for the qualifying for today. It will also come up on the channel page as well. So if you guys want to tune in for the qualifying later today, then there's a link up on the channel where you can find that. So yeah, thank you everyone for tuning in, and I will see you in 2.5 hours time. That's when I'm going live for the qualifying stream. So 2.5 hours and we'll be underway for the qualifying for tomorrow. So yeah, it's been a pleasure commentating you guys. Be sure to hit the like button, be sure to hit the reminder button, and I shall see you in 2.5 hours for qualifying. Cheers.